Hey guys, how you doing? It's Junior here from Pauline's Guitar. Today, I'm gonna be starting a new series on how to play bar chords. So yeah, don't run away. I've realized that when I get requests for my videos, a lot of people always ask without any bar chord, um, and sometimes it's really difficult to transpose a song in the original key to make sure there's no bar chord. Sometimes you end up having to place your capo on the seventh fret or even the eighth fret. Imagine having your capo on the eighth fret trying to form a chord shape. It's not that pleasant, and sometimes it just takes away the vibe of the original song. But the good news is that you don't always have to do that. When I first started learning how to play the guitar, um, what I realized is that I was trying to run away from playing backward. And what happened? There was a day whereby I forgot my cable at home, couldn't find my cable, and and I had to play, and it was quite, it was quite, how do I say, it was a nice experience in the sense that you are left in the position whereby whether you play or you don't play. It's really important that you learn how to play backwards. I know they are hard. I know they're very difficult. Honestly, the way I see it is just when you first started playing the guitar, just to even play a simple, one finger chord, like a simple C, for example, it was a problem for many people. And if you've been able to do that, and then you're able to play a C chord, you're able to play a G chord, honestly there's nothing holding you back from being able to play bar chord. Don't let anyone tell you don't have big fingers, your fingers are too small. That doesn't come into the equation. Okay, let's make a start now. So today, what I'm gonna start off with there are not two ways. There are different ways of playing the bar chord, depending on the chord you're playing. So if you have the minor chords that you're playing, let's say like A minor, for example, you want to play that with using a bar chord. I usually stick to a method of using the E minor shape to form my bar chord position. And then if you have, that will be on the E string. Okay, and I also have the E major method, so whereby I form the E major and then I use the E major shape to have a bar chord. And there is also the A minor shape you can also use, and the A major shape. Okay, so you can see I'm using the minor and major just to make sure I'm clear about what chord I'm talking about. So let's start with the minor one. So I'm going to start with the A minor chord because when you start off here on the guitar neck, the tension is not as hard as when you start here. So I'm not going to start with the F chord because I know a lot of people want to learn how to play the F chord, but here it's really going to hurt your finger at first. It's going to create a lot of tension around this part and your thumb as well, like on the side of your thumb, and that is normal. When you start feeling this pain, I would advise you to stop and just relax, rest your finger, and then go again. So let's start off with the A minor. I can't believe it's 3 minutes and I'm still talking. So, so this is your normal A minor chord. Okay. So how did I form that? I don't have to be saying, oh, first finger on the fifth fret and then second finger here, third finger, blah blah blah. If you already know the concept behind how you play bar chord, it's so easy to form any bar chord shape that you want, as long as you have the basic foundation for that chord. So if you already know how to play E minor, you remember that E minor is here. Okay, so I'm here on the second fret. So I'm starting with my ring finger. So this is going to be really good for you for the strength of your fingers. So in this case, I'm starting with my ring finger now. I'm not using my first and second finger. So that's why if you see me sometimes playing a lot of songs, I don't use these two fingers. I rarely use it. So start off on the ring finger on the A string, okay, and then use on the second fret, and then you take your pinky, you place it down on the D string, second fret. Okay, so now you have this E minor chord, and remember, when you're using this chord, this shape is going to give you a minor chord. It's not going to give you a major chord. I will let you know what gives you a major chord after this. And in this instance, I should have mentioned this before. The E string, this E string here, and the A string, they are the one that gives you the root note for the chord you're playing. So the root note is basically the first chord, the first note of the chord that you're playing. So we have this E minor here. Okay, if you strum everything, you have that E minor chord. Okay, still a minor. So now let's go to A minor. If you know your chromatic scale, which is really important if you want to know how to play Barre chord, you need to learn how to play your learn how the chromatic scale works. So, which is basically the 12 notes we have in Western music. So we have the E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. I don't want to go into too much music theory, but I just thought it's really important that you know the chromatic scale. So that was on the E string. If you go down on the A string, it's nearly the same in the sense that because I start with A, it's just gonna flow again. Like it only has from A to G, and then it starts again from the first chord you started out from. So we have A sharp on the first fret, B second fret, C. If you realize there are no sharps between B and C. Okay, same thing between the E and F. So we have the C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, so no E sharp, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay, those are the two strings you need for the Barre chord. So let's go back to where we were. So E minor, okay, and now let's play the A minor. Remember I said I'm going to start off with the A minor because the tension here is much better. So let's play the A minor. So remember this, the E string. So if you play open, E, okay, now I'm going to slide to the I think to the 7th fret. So we have here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've slid down like 5 times. So I'm right here on the 7th fret, okay? And if we use the chromatic scale, you realize that when I place my finger on this note here, on the E string, that note is the A note. Remember, that's the root note I'm looking for. That's an A note. And if you use the chromatic scale, that would have been open is E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Now, this is where the tricky part comes, in the sense that how do you press down? You know, people give up at this point because it just hurts a lot. Okay, so what I would say before you play any chord, you know, as you're learning, try and just place your fingers there. Don't press down yet, because if you're pressing down, your finger will start hurting you. So just place your finger there. Just make sure they're there. You know, I'm not pressing anything down. So if I play, it's mute. You can't hear anything. So once your finger is there, so all you need to do is just have a little curve. So I don't know if you can see it from here. When I'm showing you, my finger is slightly raised up on my right hand. So it's just, I'm using like this part, okay? So I'm using like this part of my finger. My finger isn't enough, my first finger is not flat. When it's flat, it's gonna be harder to form a chord. So just make sure it's slightly bent. So this is it, flat. Okay, this is it, slightly bent. So just curve, not bent, sorry, slightly curve. And then once you have that, you know, you have your A minor chord. The next thing you need to consider is your thumb, okay? Because your thumb is actually what's reinforcing the strength from your fingers at the front. So for me, everyone have a different, how do I say? Everyone have different sort of like thumb. So what I would say is that make sure you're comfortable when you're doing this. You know, the way I do it might be different from the way you do it, but the general rule of thumb is that You don't want your thumb to be all the way like this. You know, you can't play a bar chord if your thumb is across or even quite high, and I can see your thumb behind. So you need to make sure it goes down. You can even see once. Let me just move my camera down. You can see that when my thumb is up, you can see my whole finger, like my whole palm comes up like that. And what you need to do is just relax your shoulder, just relax, and then come down. You can see that when I'm moving my thumb now, my finger is slightly just going to the bar chord position. Okay, like this. Is your tense. Just relax your hand. Just let it roll back down. Okay, still make sure your fingers are there, not pressing down, just there. Okay, and then you have this shape. I always say make sure you have this shape in between your fret and your finger. Okay, that's really good. And now let's go back again to my thumb. It's really hard to figure this out. So for my A minor, or for most of my bar chord, my thumb is usually like this. So it's not this. Okay, if it's this, you know your fingers are tense again. So just make sure your fingers are relaxed. It's almost straight, but at the same time not straight. It's really hard to get the angle of. But you can see it's slightly bent. So it's slightly bent towards the neck, towards the head of the guitar. Okay, so it's not this way. Your finger will kill you if you do that. So just try and just make sure it's right in the middle as well. So not too low, so just right in the middle. Okay, so just press it down there. Just focus on that. That's really, really useful. Okay, that's how your thumb should be. Okay, I'll come back to this as long as I need to. And you know, if you're struggling, like if you have any question in terms of, you know, if you're experiencing any difficulty, just let me know, and I will see if I can help out. So after you've got your technique right, what you need to do now, so try and press down everything, and don't forget that the strength is somewhat coming from your thumb as well, so your thumb is actually helping you. So just press down. So just strum. And one thing you can do is that, you know, once you start hearing like buzzing or some strings that are mute, one thing you should do is just go each string at a time. So okay, and to press a bit harder for that one. Okay, so after you've done that and it's still a bit hard, just take off your fingers, just stretch it out like that. Okay, just do this just to relax your finger. And one thing again, exercise is really good. You know, there are different exercises you can do for your finger just to get the blood flowing around around your fingers, because it's very important. So you've done that, and it's, you know, it's still a bit hard. One thing I learned is that when I use my second finger just to reinforce this, it's quite helpful as well. I don't know if it might be helpful for everyone, but I find it's really helpful. So just take your second finger, just lay it right next to your first one, and just press down. So that finger is just helping you, but you don't have to do that. Well done, guys. If you really you know, stuck around to this part of the video, I wasn't really hoping that this video would get this long, but I just realized that the more I'm doing it, the more I'm, you know, explaining this stuff, even lots of ideas are just coming to my head, like, oh, you haven't said that, oh, you haven't said this. But I don't want to bombard you too many information just to take it away from what you're supposed to be doing. But if you have any question, or if you don't understand the concept, I would actually, you know, just say you should leave a comment below. And when I'm going along with the song, what I'm planning to do is that I will leave a link below to the songs that I've used, like for example this A minor bar chord. So what you can do, you can jam along the song and also just use the A minor bar chord. I would not really say you should have a lot of bar chords in your song at first, because it will hurt your fingers. So just be practicing this A minor for now. Okay, so this is the A minor shape, so you can use, this is the E minor shape, sorry. So you can use this E minor shape to play any minor chords across the E string. Okay, so you have A minor, G minor, F minor, A sharp minor, B minor. Okay, so it's very important, and it's so easy to use. You just move up and down the fret, and yeah, I would hopefully in my next lesson I should cover the major one using the E major shape, okay, to be able to play the major bar chord, not major. So I'll stop there today, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something new, and if you have, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave any comment below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.